Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can see you. You're also live on air.
Buzzing. I can see you twice, which is weird. I don't know how I've done that.
I can see. Yeah,
Don't worry
do you know
about
what
it.
Do you know what? No, do you know what it is? Right, it's because you've got another screen in front of your Skype screen. If you click your Skype screen, watch me disappear.
Oh, yeah. The other screen in front of it was the screen with you on it. So,
No, it's Jesus. It's fucking
Yeah.
Jimception.
Innit?
Lads and lasses, ladies and gentlemen, it's Troof Seeking. It's the 10th episode. This is the 10th hour of us laying down some serious hard facts. How does that make you feel?
Quite proud, to be honest, mate. I'm proud that we've stuck at this for 10 weeks. I think we've done quite well to stick at this for 10 weeks, considering the tripe that we've been speaking.
Well, I think you mean the truth we've been revealing. I think.
Oh, yeah, we're on air, aren't we? Yeah, the truth we've been revealing.
I think what you mean by that is you're surprised that we haven't been silenced yet. That we haven't been. The black SUVs haven't pulled up outside. Oh, is that a coffee or is that you took it into like a Bailey? Is that a Bailey?
It's a coffee. No, it's just a creamy coffee looking.
Just a creamy coffee.
So it cooled down fast enough.
I thought you were hitting the Baileys for the Christmas special.
No, just a coffee.
So, you've wanted to do this one for you've wanted to do this for a fucking since apparently
one,
before
really,
the show was a thing. Yeah, before the show was a thing, you wanted to talk about soil. Tell these fucking people what, because I haven't asked on purpose because I've wanted to know when these people know. So why?
I just don't trust it, mate.
Right?
It's everywhere for a start. I don't get where it comes from. I've tried Googling it over and over. Where does soil come from? How does everything that seems to be sort of significant for history and science end up buried? And the best that you can get is that because they used to do so much importing, they never really used to worry about getting rid of the waste. So it's this idea that they just kept importing, say, bananas or so, or whatever else, maybe fucking, I don't know, for example, something that was, saying somewhere where something's been buried. So Glory Tepe is like fucking Turkey. So what would they be importing into Turkey? Say something English like fucking, I don't know. I was going to say beef
sausages.
or spam. Yeah, I was going to say something like that. But I don't know.
Spam's
Did they eat pork in Turkey? But anyway, this is thousands of years ago. Well, that's why they weren't eating it all. They used to import it in to try and get on good relations with what was the Celts back then. And then they leave it to rot, which turns to soil, which buries everything.
Right.
Now, the thing that I don't get about that is that's the best explanation for where soil comes from. Is how do you not, like, I know when you're a hoarder or something, you don't realise how bad your house is getting until someone else comes in and goes, fucking hang about, this is a fucking pigsty, mate.
Yeah.
But is that what happens then when someone invades that country? They're just stepping through all this shit and literal detritus and earthworms, and they're like, fucking hell, I thought people used to live here. Do you know what I mean? Like, can you see why I'm distrustful of it?
I'm a little bit. I've never thought from that angle. I've wondered how it comes to be, like just the fact that it's here. Because like I know that rock exists. And I know what rock is. Well, to a degree, I know what rock is. Like I know what grass. I know the things that grow from soil.
Yeah, and the things that make up soil, rock is like 25% of soil, if not 45% of soil or something like that. Then you've got like a quarter of its air, a quarter of its water.
So
it's everything. Everything together is soil, but that doesn't make sense because everything comes from soil, and it just seems to be getting deeper and deeper and more of it. Even though we keep getting more and more water, which should really wash it away and move it out the way, so we're just on stone. But we're not on stone. So if like that, I don't trust it, man. I don't trust that that's true.
What do you think? What's your alternative?
I think that's the reason why we're hurtling away from the middle of the universe. Someone somewhere is fucking firing dust at us in space, and that's adding weight to the Earth and pushing us further away from the sun and pushing us further away from the middle of the universe, where there must be this one true leader or whatever who's like, right, they're not playing fair. We'll give them a dusting, dust him down, and he's there fucking magicking in his dust onto them. And then he's got other planets where he's like, right, they're sound, they believe in us, so we'll take some of the weight off of that planet so that they can get further down into the Earth and be warmer because the middle of the Earth, the middle of the planet will be warming them up. But then again, you've got global warming, so maybe we're starting to be on the universal leader's good side because he's like, right, now you're doing what we're saying, we'll start taking the dust off of you and putting it onto other planets. So we'll remove the dust and you'll get closer to the molten core of the Earth and the Earth will warm up.
So, I mean, what are we doing that's right? Because, I mean, in recent history, we have apparently destroyed the environment, killed off a ridiculous amount of a ridiculous percentage of wildlife. There's been shitloads of wars. Is global warming? Are you saying global warming is a good thing? Are you saying that?
I'm not saying it's a good thing as
What
such,
about the
but
Sandy
it's a
Hook
sort of
shooting?
reward.
Are you saying that the gods were happy with Sandy Hook?
I don't know. I can't really speak for the gods, but speaking for the one universal master of the universe who fires dust on planets, he might have called for it, mate. You don't know.
What about? Well, does that mean he had his hand in Columbine as well? Do we have a new sort of suspect for school shootings, massacres, terrorist attacks? And
Someone
it's
to
actually
blame the rubbish, to blame it all on.
and it's just a god of mud dusting.
Yeah, the Cropduster.
What a shit! Up there with all the gods, you've got Ganesh. Ganesh is up there. Buddha's up there.
Yahweh.
You've got Yahweh's up there, and then just in
Jesus
the corner,
is close.
in the corner,
In
just
the corner,
fucking
you've got this guy that runs around farting in exam halls.
talking to he still cupcakes people. He's 4,000 and
Yeah,
plus
he's one of
years
them.
old, and he just still he cupcakes the other gods. They're like, for fuck's sake. He's just there. What do you do? I'm the god of war. I'm the god of fertility. I'm the god of mud, right? And
Yeah,
basically, if a planet does enough fucking about, I'll sling some mud at it, which will take it further away from the sun, but you'll be able to grow more stuff as well. So it's a bit of a 50-50 situation, what you can make of it.
True, yeah, that's a good point, actually. If you are further away, you would grow more 'cause you've got more soil. And I guess you've got more sunlight 'cause it takes the sunlight longer to hit you. So that means more can travel at you in a longer period of time. Speaking of time, though, how long do you reckon it takes an inch of soil
wait there.
Was it a lot to unpack? Go on.
Wait there.
What bit through
Are
you?
you saying you could grow more soil if grow more shit if you were further away because the sun would take longer? Surely it wouldn't be as hot, so you wouldn't, and it wouldn't be as strong sunlight, so you wouldn't be able to grow as much shit. Because by that thinking, we get loads of light from stars billions of miles away. And why are they not why are we not getting super class grows from all those?
Well, maybe certain things are growing better than in this new, like this less heat kind of thing then. Maybe I've got it the wrong way around. Maybe as we get closer and we get closer to all these other stars and these other suns, quote unquote suns, people can't see me air quotes because that's the bit, guys, that I'm air quoting. The fucking
suns.
So as we get closer to all these stars, then maybe that's when like dinosaurs come back and that. Because everything can get more sunlight and grow bigger.
This was going to be one of my points. Was like, we know that dinosaurs are like, and oil is basically compressed dinosaur and compressed like matter. So that means that all soil at one point when it gets pushed down further and further must become oil, like. Because it'll become like everything else. I was pushed down, layered over time. Pressure will like build down on it, and then after a point, it'll become like oil. You can extract oil from it. So, like, does that? How can we speed that up? Surely that's a renewable energy source. If we could
Maybe
just find a way
that's
of compressing mud quickly.
Well, that might be what the whole big push over the past sort of 40 years for obesity has been. But then they've realised it's not working, so now we've got the war on obesity.
That's true.
Or maybe the people that wanted the Cropduster to win or lose, I don't know what side of the fence these would stand on, have thought, right, they're trying to use the fat people now as well. Because if you think about the way that obese people seem to be portrayed around the world, it seems to be very much confined to like England and America. If you if you imagine it realistically, if you try to imagine like obese people with the mobility scooters.
Yeah, with the
stereotypical obese person. But
you've got,
you know what I mean?
You've got a lot of like, there's some areas in the Pacific Islands and shit like that where because of their diet, like Samoa's one where The Rock's from. Rikishi's also from there, but like they're they're generally a big people because their diet consists like primarily of some like quite carb heavy vegetable, like root veg and shit like that. So there are other nations that essentially, what we've done is we've perfected obesity. We weren't born big.
We've sped it up. We've got fuck genetics. We can do this with corn syrup.
Yeah, we didn't have to be born like that and have it forced from the diet around us. We chose this path and thought, do you know what? We're going to become the pros at being fat. Diabetes, yeah, we'll have that. We'll have that. Fucking coronary heart failure before you're 45. Yeah, fucking, we are going to be the masters of that. But again, yeah, they're very effective in the quickening of the stomping down of the soil. Well,
only to a certain point though, because there is a reason why obese people are obese. It's partly, I would imagine, they're not getting about in fields as much. But if you could find a way to maybe use them in fields, it might be good for everyone. You keep farming fat people, and then you're like, right, we've got this camp,
like a labour camp, but you'd have to feed them more. Because usually in a labour camp, you're not feeding them more that much.
Instead of calling it a labour camp, it could be like a health retreat.
Yeah, Slimming World.
Yeah, they are.
Like a Slimming World summer camp.
Slimming World Ranch.
Yeah. Slimming Flat Earth.
And the people on the watchtowers would be the true Weight Watchers. Guardians. See,
that's 11 minutes in.
I thought my first one would be about digging up old truths and stuff.
Yeah, no, it weren't. That was 11 minutes in. But that's. I mean, in reality, to ruin the joke, Slimming World and Weight Watchers are rather like the Bloods and the Crips of the diet world. Like they're at odds at each other. So that would never see them joining forces to patrol fat people. But I don't mind the idea of it. It's going to cost you a lot in feed, but oil's fucking expensive. Like, you're going to make a pretty penny out of that. I mean, soil's interesting.
Yeah.
But I put it this way. I sent you a document, which is weird, man. It's weird how
and
you
I
said
haven't
you were
even
going to talk.
Watched it,
I haven't either. That's exactly what I was about to get into. What I was going to say was, after we've mentioned you wanted to do soil, a documentary came up on Netflix literally the next day when I was with Jamie talking about soil, or the truth on soil. And it's got, like, I'm sure Woody Harrelson's in it and some people like that. Like, it's got fucking names in it. I was like, I'm going to watch that before the show. And true to form, definitely haven't. And do you know what? I came into this hoping, I was like, he fucking loves soil. This kid, this kid is all about soil. He's like, if he likes one thing more than dead animals and pretending to have a dead animal as a penis and controlling that dead animal on a piece of fishing wire as if it was his own penis, there's only one thing he loves more than that. Oh, speaking of which, I nearly absolutely smashed a vole yesterday on the drive home, and I was going to mail it to you if I killed it. But,
that's fucking good going, that trying to run over a vole. Because they're only little, aren't they?
Well, I didn't mean to, but it tried to obviously have a game of...
you didn't fucking turn for it and that, no?
Nah, it weren't worth it, mate. I had
Chasing it up the country lanes.
I had a glass bottle. Yeah, I had a glass bottle in the car. It wouldn't have fucking... It might have smashed. Like, if it weren't for that, I'd have tear-assed after that fucking... Yeah, true. You got to be accurate with a vole. But I've always practiced for shit like that. Like, if I see a can in the road, I'll always make sure I clip it with my tyre. So I reckon I've been doing that. Do you know? I've done that for years. Like, if there's a can of pop in the road, I'll always try and run that on, hit it with the tyre rather than just drive over it.
See, I'd be worried that someone's filled it with nails, or some cunt's filled it with cement or something.
Does this happen often? I'll be honest, I've never... My mum drove over what she thought was a carrier bag once that was a white rock, which absolutely ruined the underside of her car. Like, it was balancing on the rock. But I'm pretty confident that any time... sometimes, if there's a cardboard box or a plastic bag in the road, I'll avoid that, because I think, shit, that's a box of puppies.
I don't worry about it being a box of puppies. I just think, fucking hell, that's probably a bag of broken glass.
No, so this is where our differences are, mate. See, I care for animals, and you just want to take their insides out and fix them together with other animals to make mutant animals, which just each to their own. But I'll avoid big things, but yeah, cans and shit, I'll always try and clip, and because of that, I reckon if I wanted to hit an animal, I'd fucking hit it spot on. Like
You
it
just
would
break
be.
one leg, leave it with a limp, or you can go full on, break its back, flatten
uh,
it.
I'd be going
Different
headshot,
degrees of torture and mutilation.
headshot, quick as fuck. Wouldn't have a clue. Just boom, sticking in the rest of it would be sticking in the air because I'd be that accurate. I'd just hit the head.
You go
Um,
for a pigeon, but just as you go for it, it takes off to the side, so you kick your driver door open.
have you ever seen someone hit a pigeon? You
Nah, but I do remember me and my uncle used to do car boots in it every Sunday, and as we was on our way
what? As in,
there,
you used to break into him?
nah, just used to go and sell shite at them, like
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
old clothes and that. Like it was always old women's clothes as well, and he was like 60, 65. I was about 14, so we must have looked fucking weird. But all
Yeah.
that we'd suffered a loss in the family, I guess. And this was like a
Either that
weird
or
way of getting over it.
your uncle had a hobby on weekends that he didn't used to talk to anyone about.
Bags worth of it, 60 odd years worth of cross dressing. Fucking, but anyway, yeah, in the one morning, it's proper out of character for him. We were driving down the road, it was empty, going towards petrol station, and he saw a pigeon in the road, and he fucking went for it, mate. And I remember just watching him, being like, "What are you doing?" And I even said to him like, "What's going on here then?" And he just looked at me and started laughing and cackling and went, "I've got no idea. I was in a totally different place there, mate." And just went back into the left lane and carried on going.
That's like that intrusive thought shit we talked about before. Where I
Yeah,
was on about running over motorcyclists. It's the same crack.
yeah.
But I mean, I never actually did it. But I had a point. This was going to soil somewhere, and
Oh,
I fucking, it's gone, you know.
oh,
But
fuck, sorry.
no, it was essentially. Oh, what we
You
were
could have
coming
saved the
round to.
show.
What I was coming round to was the fact that I was hoping that because this was your episode, you would have come in this like all guns blazing, facts and knowledge, and you'd watch that documentary. I thought, I don't have to do it. I don't have to. Do you know what? I'm going to drive 30 miles across the county. Yeah, Boris Johnson, fuck you. To go and collect a cold platter to eat for me tea because I wanted some nice Scotch eggs, and that's what I've just had. And I thought that was going to be worth it. I thought, do you know what? I'll just eat a Scotch egg or two. Don't have to do any research. I'll have that. I'll have a little bit of focaccia. I'll have some Durham cheddar, and then I'll jump into this podcast. And he's gonna know what he's taught. I can blag this. I can blag this like I blagged the school bus for 5 years. This will be fine. And I mean, here we are. We're stumped.
I've let you down. I've let everyone down. Fucking stumped. Oh,
yeah,
fucking...
we're in the thick
Well,
of it.
I can give you some interesting facts about soil. You know, it's not going to be like normal, but we'll
You
see
give
where
the
it
facts.
leads.
I'll judge the interesting.
All right. So it takes, I think it's 500 years it takes for an inch of soil to develop and appear, which is a long time.
Fucking hell. Yeah, man. And we just throw that shit about at each other when we're younger, like throw it off cars and stuff like it's nothing. That stuff's an artifact. Why aren't we selling it on eBay?
You know,
It's a fucking fossil already.
I've never understood, say about selling it on eBay. Why haven't people just tried, when you got to get rid of a bag of old soil or rubble,
Yes.
why isn't there a way that you can just go in some sort of service where if someone's pissed you off, that you can say, right, I want someone, because you'd need a waste management license in the eyes of the law to be moving it round as waste. But if it's not waste, if the actual product is, take this 10 kilos of topsoil or rubble or old MOT and fucking, can you dump it outside my fucking rival's house? Be it like your ex's new fella, your ex's new missus, your fucking stepdad because he's left your mum, whatever, But you get someone who you pay them and they come and dump that old shite outside their house.
You can. There's a service that you can order dog shit to someone's door.
Can you?
Yeah, man. It's It might even be the Cards of Humanity people. I think they offer that. That was a little side business they had going that they advertised quite widely. That you could pay to have dog shit sent to someone's address. Like it's fucking.
Imagine if you sent it to them and they're on holiday though and all, and the post office workers in the sorting office because they got to keep it for 18 days. I think. You go height of summer because you've took the kids away for the summer holidays. You come back, oh, I've got a parcel. I don't remember ordering anything in it, but it was little Jimmy's birthday while we were off. Oh, it must be off Carol. Carol must have sent him a card. Oh, and you get it home.
Yeah, imagine that. No, imagine having to go and collect it from the post. Imagine having to pay like customs charges on it. And so they go, oh, you've got to come to the post office, pay this tenner off to get this package. You're like, fuck, now must be from America or something. So you get there, and they come to you. I mean, they'll already be wearing a mask at the moment, but with 2 masks on, being like, "What? Here, I'm glad you fucking come for this." Passing it over, you get this foul-smelling box that you have to not only sign for but pay, and then carry out past a queue of people who are like, "What the fuck has died in that box?" And you get back in the car and be like, "What the hell have I got here?" And it's just old dog shit.
You could,
Old
if you
warm
really
dog
wanted
shit.
to piss them off, though, you wouldn't have to do it through customs. So if you wanted to make this as a viable business option to maybe, compete with the Cards Against Humanity's people, even though because they've knocked it on the head, I would imagine with what they've got going on now,
No,
they're
no.
doing
I think
quite well.
no,
But they're
no,
still
no.
doing it.
This was something that they had the whole while they were doing Cards of Humanity.
Oh fucking hell!
Yeah, these are
Well,
like they're fucking. I'm sure it's them.
if you was to send it in a box with just a fucking second class stamp on it, the person would have to pay a postal charge when it arrives at their house anyway.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like when customs charge,
Yeah.
postal
I
charge.
I was just saying. So as the sender, if someone was listening, and they decided I'm going to do this, I'm going to bag up some dog shit, send it to someone.
Yeah,
Just don't
man.
send it overseas. You'll probably be fine.
Yeah, if you see, I mean, you get. Yeah, it's a fantastic idea. I mean, and if they're doing that, then there's no reason why you couldn't theoretically just send soil to people. Why don't you?
No,
I mean, that's something you could do. Why don't you
bag of
just
soil.
start picking random addresses out of the phone book, right?
Mm.
And then every time you're doing some renovations or something, or even just you're passing the local green, take a little don't take a shovel. Shovel's obvious. Take a trowel, right? It's weird, man. I live like the village where I live in. Old people now and again. It's like it's weird. The only sort of drive-bys I get round here are weird as fuck, right? And it's old people trying to make a shithole look nice. And what they'll do is a car full of old people will turn up in high visors, which is weird. And they'll get out of the car and they'll start planting plants in like on the bits of grass that are around the fucking estate and that, which is a shithole, and it's like there's crime and there's no amount of flowers are going to account for that. But that like they'll sort of come out of they'll appear out the blue. They'll just pull up in like a 2006 Nissan Primera that they've had since new. Like and then fucking when they retired, they thought, you know what, I'll put the money into a good Nissan. It'll last the rest of my life. That. And now, I mean, it probably will because they're looking in far worse state than the car. But they'll all turn up in the Primera, army of beige with high visors on, and blue rinses as far as the eye can see. And they'll have the little trowels and they'll start like planting daffodils in the grass and shit. And then, but you won't see them. You won't see your daffodils because obviously it takes a while to grow. So what you actually see is a bunch of old biddies in high visors just turfing
Digging
up the
holes.
ground. Yeah, that's
Leaving their husbands in the floor, little
turfing up the
handfuls of their
ground.
husbands.
And then pissing off, and then 3 months later some daffodils show up. But yeah, just take a trowel with you wherever you're going somewhere, start bagging up bits of soil, and just pick. Be like the Unabomber. Just pick or the smiley face killer, whatever the name were, and just start picking random addresses and sending package to them. And they're like, "What the fuck's this?" It was just soil, no letter, no return address, no explanation, no hint as to why you've done it. Just start sending bags of soil to random addresses.
Everyone would think they knew who sent that as well.
Exactly.
You fucking the true fucking chaos.
That
you'd cause with it because you'd ruin families and that, mate.
It's lunacy.
Yeah.
That
it'd be fun.
It's in some ways worse than a bomb, because if you send a bomb, right, it just wipes the people out. Yeah, people have died, but like eventually that will come back to you. They'll trace you. They probably won't blame that on each other because, oh, did you know fucking your brother was building bombs? No, he wasn't. I swear he's fucking doing plumbing at he's doing a plumbing BTEC at college. He's not even passing that. He's definitely not making bombs. So like they wouldn't think that. But with soil, you've got that element of it's going to drive people nuts. They're never going to work out, and then they're going to think everyone's lying instead. So you're going to turn possibly whole communities on themselves. Which, I mean, if you saw that element of doubt and you leave it there, like that's worse than a bombing that it's eventually going to be solved and you're going to get banged up. It's
little ominous
mayhem.
messages in there as well, like
no messages.
No, just soil. Oh, okay. I was thinking things like ask her,
no.
tell him. Ask
No,
him,
because
so they see it and they're
then
like,
that gives them direction. That gives them some sort of direction, and then what you're doing there is you're creating a path for them to go down, and that's giving them almost determinism there. You're determining which way they're going to lead their investigation. If you send no message whatsoever, they're not going to know. Also, it's going to prey on their worst fears.
Especially if you can find their garden and then after do it, send one every day for a couple of weeks, and then while they're in work, jump into their back garden or front garden and dig a little hole. So they think you've been coming in every day, taking it from the garden, and
You just leave a shovel there one day.
yeah. Or just some gloves. You just leave the gloves up over the fence.
Yeah, that's really cruel. Come to think of it, if someone started doing that to me, well, now I'd be like, well, you just listen to the show. But if before now, I'd first 2 packages, I'd be like, this is weird. After that, it would become an insane obsession with me to work out where that had come from, and I would waste any amount of resources to get to the bottom of it.
Hours and hours of police time. Imagine ringing them up though and be like, look, it's going to sound really, I know it's not an emergency and I don't normally phone the police unless I think someone's trying to break into one of my neighbours' houses, but I've got 30 odd boxes of soil here, all different sizes. It's cost me fucking nigh on 600 quid in charges. And it's I'll be honest, mate, this is terrorism, this.
Yeah. I live in a flat, I ain't even got a garden to put the fucker in.
Yeah. There's only so many pots I can have. You ever seen ivy growing out of a shoebox? Yeah. It's pretty depressing, mate.
It's absolutely, yeah.
I've had to get rid of the coffee table.
Bathroom's covered. Fuck it, it's gone down the toilet. It's me shower curtains just ivy now. Yeah, you're causing any amounts of torture. That is akin to terrorism. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got to be able to build a bomb out of soil as well to some degree, haven't you? You can do it out of manure, I know, but that's not soil. Yeah. There's got to be a way to build it out of soil. Did you ever mud bomb shit when you were younger? Speaking of which.
What, where you just get clumps and clumps of fucking wet mud and throw them at walls and that?
I mean, walls, people, teachers was a good one. Cars was always a good one.
Never really did that. Me and my mate used to get, we'd say when you were asking if there's normal to put nails and that in empty tins, we used to like to get, take car tyres from the garages, because there used to be some garages near where we used to hang around. And then hold them in front of cars as they come.
Yeah. Did you ever...
I never did mud bombing, but we used to enjoy that. We once fucking cordoned off most of the estate as well, with fucking traffic cones that one of my mates had collected. He had a little thing for collecting them and used to stash them in the woods.
Brilliant.
And then when we went round, he had like 25 of the fuckers, and we were like, right, know what we're doing today.
It's weird, man. Like this time of year, so in my village and the one next to it, like there's obviously there was when I was younger. There's loads of different groups of youths that were all different, like friendship groups, and some of them like didn't like each other at all. But the one time all the kids would come together and like united, the only time, like once a year, was winter, because the whole village. So where I live, you've got a village green that runs like parallel to the main road through the village. So everything, until they built the bypass, all the traffic had to pass through there. One road in, one road out. And when it snowed, that village green got so covered in snow that all the lads, like, and it was just the lads, like, it didn't tend to be many lasses joining this, but all the lads would just form an army of snowballers and just attack traffic for about 1-2 months of the year when it was snowing. We used to build walls of snow across the main road, and then just like when traffic stopped, smack the traffic. You get someone to wait. One of the favourite was to get someone to wait at the bus stop, flag the bus down, go to get on the bus. As soon as he opens the door, you attack the bus driver and then attack the people on the bus with snowballs. That happened too often. There was a lad I remember called Tiffer, and he's one of those people that, like, I still wonder what he's up to now. Like,
was he the sort of lad then that instead of throwing snowballs was compacting it into the tarmac to make black ice?
So this lad was just I don't think he had any regard for his own safety. So we'd all the reason we had the upper hand in the village green was the actual green itself was on all sides. It was surrounded by like a quite high curb. It was like 1.5 foot high curb. So cars couldn't just drive on the green. There was a pickup truck that used it one day, drove onto the green, and everyone was like, shit, this is a game changer. Because this car was just chasing us around the fucking village green. There's about fucking 50, 60 kids on the village green. This 4x4 is just flying at people. But you couldn't get onto us. So we'd all sit on the village green, and throw snowballs from quite far away. You got pretty good at doing that. But Tiffer would stand on the path right next to cars, pretend he was tying his shoelace, and then as soon as one passed, bang! He froze an egg once. He launched it in the air, and it smashed the corner of a windscreen of a limousine. The bloke got out the limousine with like a full stag do, and this stag do was suited up, tuxes, like looking all smart, dress shoes, and chased him. It was fucking hilarious. But that was the only time, and this isn't sort of related to soil. It's related to ground, I suppose. But
close enough.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, really.
There was we got butchered for that to the point where we were in the paper for causing so much damage. And then there was one time the police helicopter came out to try and find people, and everyone had run. You go through our village, go through the front street, and then after that it's like a warren of back streets, and then it goes out to fields. Everyone had left the front green because police had chased us on more than one occasion, and they sent a helicopter after us, and everyone hid in the field like under snow. So you just saw like
Genius.
40, 50 snow angels, like snow piles of where people had just dove into fresh snow and covered themselves with snow thinking it'd fucking work. It's just piles of freshly dug snow everywhere. Police like flashing lights coming from all around being like, lads, just get out.
You're going to be ill. You're just going to be really ill.
Wet. It was weird, man. Like, back in those days as well, I got cracks off more than one fully grown adult for doing that. Because you had the village green, and then on the other side you had the main road one side, and then the other side of the road was like on the other side of the green was a small road that was like to the front street houses. So what people would do is if they get hit, some people would just obviously drive along the road and carry on going, but some would come back round the back road bit that went round the back of the village green, and then get out the car and come chase us and grab us. And if no one saw them, you'd get caught. But that was why we did it. We did it to get chasers, because that's what you do when you're a kid. So it was fun until the point where you've got like a fully grown 30-year-old bloke pinning you up against a wall and slapping you about. Like, whoa, this isn't fucking nice, this, mate.
But now, as a 30-odd-year-old bloke, could you see yourself going and grabbing some, like, how old was you, like 12 or something? Older, younger?
I was 11 and 12, 13.
Could you imagine gripping an 11-year-old up against the wall, though?
Nah, but I'd scare...
For throwing snowballs?
I'd scare fucking shit out of them.
Yeah, but you wouldn't beat them, would you?
No,
like, that's mad.
I'd go and get my own snowballs and come back round and fucking pelt
That's
them.
what I thought you was going to say about the stag do. I thought that's what was going to have happened. Like, the stag do just all got out.
No, they fully chased this lad.
Or they had their own frozen eggs.
No, he like I say, he's someone even now. I often wonder, like, what if he's alive, and if he is alive, like, what the fuck he's doing? Because it's not normal. Even right now, what he's doing right this second while we're doing this, it's definitely better.
I love the fact that he's not probably, but there's a slim chance he's listening, and he's just heard you saying whatever he's doing now definitely isn't normal, and he's just looking at his computer screen of a woman licking out a Labrador and masturbating with us on in the background, and he just looks around the room and he's like, yeah, I need to make some changes. I've not seen him for 20 years.
Yeah,
and
better turn this radio station off.
Yeah, how did he know?
So there's a snow story for you. I don't know if I've got any dirt stories.
Digging up the dirt.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, dishing the dirt, right? That's a saying, innit? Dish the dirt means to give me everything you know. Give me what's good of the story.
Right.
But realistically, the phrase must come from, I'm thinking it must come from panhandling, for gold. So to dish the dirt would be to get rid of the shite and keep the gold in the sieve. So it would be a bad thing to dish the dirt.
I suppose. I don't know where the etymology of that phrase, what the etymology of that phrase is. So
I'm making it up, innit? But it seems like it would fit.
I mean, yeah, you've got that. Well, I mean, where would spill the beans come from?
I don't know. Maybe from female genital mutilation somewhere.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You reckon that's it? Spill the beans. You must spill the beans. They will only tell the truth if you spill their beans. That's what FGM is. Female genital mutilation is just what certain tribes believe is the only way of getting the truth from a woman. They will just lie and lie. The only way to get the truth is to spill their beans. You must spill their beans. I
See,
mean,
that's you might have cracked something there. You don't know, do you?
I tell you what, I have cracked some fucking
Go on.
absolute complaints coming into this station. If anyone's listening for the first time, and for anyone that's not listening for the first time, they'll be complaining because that weren't even the best version of my accent that I know when I've done that.
Yeah, can you do voices? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Oh,
can't.
fair.
It's not to mean I don't try, but I can't.
Right.
It's never stopped us, as with most things in life. You're not meant to do this. You're not meant to do that. I mean, yeah, well, but it was in the dark. No one was looking. Couldn't help it. I'll be honest. Like, I'm staring, and the inside of your hood is just like it's like two red ears, like two fucking massive red ears.
Is it off-putting?
Slightly, yeah, mate.
Oh, there you go. In there, yeah.
No. I mean, I was sort of facing my fears.
Fuck my comfort, you know. Bollocks to that.
I was knee deep in like some sort of train of thought, and then I don't know. It's probably because I just smoked before we come on for the first time today, but I just got lost in a sea of red.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there. I mean, that's not going to help, but I mean, I've not got anything. I can't really do anything with that, innit? I mean, like, it looks like I've got red ears. It looks like you've got a cape over the back of your chair. If we're trying to give the listener a little festive description of what we can see. Oh, so it is.
It's fucking
I've only just been able to see the white strip there at the bottom
Santa's
of it.
hat, bitch. This is
one hell of a fucking Santa's hat. It's like a little sleeping bag, mate.
Yes, a sleeping bag for one of those elves, one of those naughty elves that apparently is the thing this Christmas.
Oh, see, I was tempted, you know, for the world around you to help promote that over Christmas. You know how they got you've heard of the elf on a shelf now. I was just going to go in my backyard and spit on some dog shit and film that. But I didn't have the balls to do it.
What?
I thought it just pissed people off. I thought people, that's just disgusting. That's just too far.
What, in comparison with some of the comments that people put on your fucking shit as it is?
True.
You've massacred 5 billion animals to make this thing here. Yeah. You personally have gone out with a fucking scythe and just swathed your way through fields and fields of mammals in order to make this thing. You horrible mammal Hitler. What are you doing? You horrible fucking human fascist. This is the peak of humanity at its worst. That is essentially from what I've read of the internet. A lot of daft cunts think about everything you do.
Yeah. So going like that on some dog. You've heard of elf on a shelf. Now get ready for and just zoom in on it, mate.
They'd be like, yeah, that's pretty tasteful considering him.
Very festive. Is that glitter?
Yeah. Oh, did you see those people, I think it was in London, that started doing that, started dressing up dog shits that were left on the road and shit, on paths?
People have been doing that for a while. That was on a TV show as well. I saw someone doing that.
Yeah.
I want to say it was one of Carl Pilkinson's TV shows. Yes. I'm not sure though.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
Yeah. I can't remember which one, but he definitely featured it on his. But yeah, that's fucked, isn't it? That's weird. Yeah. I mean, it art is subjective, right? Each to their own. You've got to make your own way in this world, and you've got to have something that's unique to you and a brand. But I don't want to be the dog shit dresser upper.
That's not what you want to be known for.
Would you rather be the dog shit dresser upper or the Cropduster?
I'd rather be the Cropduster.
Yeah, 100%.
The one from the start. Yeah, you're a fucking deity, mate. You're in charge of you're in charge of placement. You're basically the snooker player of the solar system.
Yeah, but you're not you're a snooker player that no one wants to play snooker with. Like the other gods are like, yeah, he can just play by himself. Like, I'm not touching
Give him the
anything.
Practice table.
Yeah. I'm not using the same chalk as him. The fucking horrible bastard.
Yeah. And you're just there crushing up the chalk and being like, this is perfect for fucking Xylon 543C.
Yeah. Oh, this'll fertilise.
You fucking ruined it again, mate.
Oh, you bastard.
You take a day off.
Jesus, man. What?
Yeah, he just breaks up from across the way. Wait, there's your first.
Yeah, I don't know if you were going to be the god. If you were going to be a god of anything, what would you want to be the god of? And I don't. It doesn't have to be one that already exists. Obviously, that would be fucking boring.
Oh, okay.
But if you
I'm
had
glad
to
you
be,
said that because I had an. If the ones that would exist, you'd want to be the god of time, innit? Because that just seems like the fucking coolest thing ever.
would you?
See everything. Aye. But if it was one that didn't exist, I've always thought like if I was to be have like a godly superpower, I'd want to have one that gives other people a chance though. So it'd have to be something like the ability to you're the god of say like meteorites, but then meteorites are actually tennis balls where they've got like a fucking 1 in 3 chance of striking what it is you're thinking about them striking.
Or it could be something like if you want it to be something that benefited people, like the god of good
I don't want
fortune.
to benefit them. Give them a chance, don't you? I think it's better to be the
That's what.
super villain than
Yeah,
be the hero.
but that is a chance. When I say like the god of good fortune, like you can't, you say you couldn't like that because that's how I would like. That's I mean that's something I wouldn't mind being myself. If I was going to be a god. Like you don't want to be able to make it easy for people and let
Mm.
them just have shit, but you can sort of go, you know, like those times you get away with something and you really shouldn't, and you get away with it, and afterwards you're like, fucking hell, that, and you learn from it because you're like, I should not have got away with that, and I know how much shit I would have been in if I didn't get away with that, but now I've got away with that. I'm probably going to make sure I never have to get away with that again. Like that's the god I'd want to be, the god of good fortune, where
The
it
god of
doesn't.
jammy bastards.
Yeah, you can't do it all the time. But for different people, I'd give them like I don't know, once every 6 months or something like that. Once every 18 months, I'd give them something. But like, oh, he's just gone through a speed camera doing 93. He's like, that's that. You could lose, your license. Yeah. I'll just put Oh, he was He was overtaking an Arctic lorry that was just in the way of the number plate. What a shame. What a shame. And then he goes home and he's like, fuck, that camera flashed today. That flashed today. And then like he doesn't get his ticket in 3, 4, 5 weeks time. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to speed through that bit, not anymore, because I could have got away with it last time, but it's not going to happen next time. I wouldn't determine people's. I wouldn't say you've got it easy. You shouldn't have it easy. But what I do want is just to take that bit that's going to break someone every now and again and go, nah, you get that one. You get a pass there.
That's quite good though. That would be quite a good one because you wouldn't get people just constantly praying to you and mithering you either, would you? They wouldn't be like, oh, if we keep asking for it, we'll get this. What does concern me with that idea though is if they haven't used up this sort of freebie, if you like, every 6 or 18 months, do they build up? And then you could potentially have in like fucking 80 years after you first become this god, you've got all these old people who've never really took a risk, who are just finally thinking, you know what, fuck it. I am going to skydive. I am going to go and rob a bank. I am going to go and, kidnap someone from a bus station.
No.
And they just keep getting away with like little bits on the way so they don't actually get caught.
No, it's there to be used. If you don't use it right, if you're banking on your shit to then try and save it for later on, I don't consider that as taking all your chances. I don't consider that as you actually doing what you would do for then, because then you're relying on my ability. You're relying on the power that I have, rather than just living your.
To make them not do that, would you team up with another god, or would you have a sort of power? Like, imagine if your
you've
power
got
was
every god's got like almost every god's got their equal and opposite, don't they? Like you've got
God and the devil.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you've got like a god of chaos and a god of peace. Like shit like that. So you've got a balance. So what you just if no one's doing good, if no one's taking those risks in order to have that chance of redemption or like cover from me, the gift of the blag, like the god of the blag, basically. Like that's an amazing title. I'd have an opposite, and the opposite would be someone who forced people to take chances, possibly. Like when they put them in bad situations, and
I think it'd be even better though to have them so it makes all the most mundane activities seem like they're taking a risk. So when they just walk into the corner shop, they get splashed by a car.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I should have just fucking.
Yeah, every time they go out to do something, that's what you do. That's exactly what you do. You make it so every time they go out to do something safe, you make sure that's actually very dangerous. Oh, that manhole cover you walked across on the way to the bus stop. Yeah, it fell through, and now you've fallen now you're in the draining system with 2 broken legs. Daft cunt. You should have jumped on that fucking. You should have done that bank robbery last week. You silly cunt. You could have got away with it.
But the guy 3 doors down, whose plumbing's just been on the blitz for a few days, that fatberg has just cleared.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
Good news for him. You should have fucking took a risk, mate.
Yep.
You should have skipped on the way to the shop. You might have missed a manhole cover.
You should have fucking battered that old lady when you walked past her. You would have got away with this. You'd have been fine now, and you'd have been fucking 60 quid dole up.
And a book of stamps.
Hey, they're not cheap either.
I was reading a thing
winner.
the other day that was someone was suggesting in a way to try and beat the price hike of stamps, you should buy loads of stamps now. Which I thought was terrible advice considering what you're reading about like the fucking postal services at the minute all around the world. Especially ours, like the Royal Mail and that, man. That's fucking. So the idea to try and help yourself is to try and cripple them. We put prices up in 2 weeks' time. So everyone buys them at this price now and then no one buys a stamp for the next few months. So they're not making any money, which is mental.
Who's sending that many letters?
I don't know.
Because
once you've got in a ban from doing dirty phone calls, you could do yourself some dirty letters. Wonder if there was ever a niche for that.
You could send people soil.
You could little handfuls of soil, so it just goes as a large letter in a little jiffy bag.
Imagine being the sort of psycho that, like you said, instead of doing dirty phone calls, they think what really is going to capture their dream bride is packages of soil. Like, I got this for you. I got this soil and I put it in the bag and now will you suck my willy? Yeah, that's how this works, isn't it? I've sent you the soil, now come and lick my willy. That imagine that sort of. I wouldn't help him. He wouldn't get.
No, you wouldn't give him his lucky break. He meets a woman who's like.
He wouldn't get his lucky break.
I've just been sending off 30 odd boxes of used candles. You know, the metal bits off the bottom of the tea lights. I've been crushing them down for the past 25 years and sending them to people at random. And this man's just sent me a box of soil. I think I'm in love with him. And they get in touch with each other and they're like, holy fuck, we could compact the little tea light tubs with soil and work together. And then they cross over with their list of people that they've already sent stuff to, because they're going to be good with lists, aren't they? These types of people, they're going to make notes.
They're going to be very good with lists. They're also probably going to have targeted the same types of people. And I bet they can read each other's handwriting. And I bet they're the only two who can read each other's handwriting.
And understand all the codes. The codes are exactly the same. I put a 4 for an A as well.
Yeah. I actually write all of my Y's backwards too. But yeah, if those two meet, I'm not giving any of them chances because they need more than that. They don't need any. They've made their own look. You got to argue they've made their own look there. They're two fucking proper recluses. Fucking, I'll say it, I don't mind upsetting them. They don't exist. Fucking weirdos. Absolute rat cranks.
Like in a weird sort of higgledy-piggledy fucking mail-order bride type situation.
Let's be honest, right? That bond is two absolute psychos on the brink of a sectioning, to be honest. The love between those two is going to be far stronger than any mail order bride. Like that's going to be. I wouldn't try and get in the middle of it, because let's be honest, people like
he's dripping wax on him and he's spanking her with a trowel.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. If you've ever had experiences with them, they tend to be stronger than normal people. I don't know what it is, but they tend to be stronger. And if you try and split those two up, you're getting killed. You're getting basically what happened when Lenny petted the rabbit in Of Mice and Men. You're going to be the rabbit, and they're going to both be Lenny, and you're going to be petted, and then left, and then because of their mental capabilities, probably just left, and then literally left. Like, they'll get on with their normal lives. You'll be dead in the living room, just out on the floor, blue, rigor mortis, and I mean they'll just go back to normal.
Throwing handfuls of soil over you.
No, they'll just they'll just go back to normal. They'll pretend you're not there. They might put their feet up on you when they're watching telly, eating soil. Like one of them
spoons made out of the tea lights.
They're filling tea lights with soil to make mud candles, and they're just setting those round you, a bit like some sort of seance, a little bit.
And that's how they found out that they can make soil bombs. They're the ones who discover it.
I'll be honest, you don't want people that have already had 2 campaigns of sending random packages to people finding out how to make a bomb from soil.
A bomb from the thing that they've both been sending.
This whole time, if they combined and gone, actually, we found out if you use all these little candle holders, you can make fuses out of these. And if I combine them with your methane-rich soil, we've actually made a bomb. We both have a list already. Let's do round 2. Let's do a collab. This time we'll go out with a bang. And then they just start, and you're still there the whole time, just dead.
Decaying.
And they're not bothered. I mean, they've got a sense of smell, but they don't know what a bad smell is.
It's just a different smell.
Exactly.
I've never smelt this before.
I had an ex-girlfriend who used to work in a live-in home for autistic lads. So it was like their own it was their own housing, but they had support. And there was a lot of fisting going on there.
Fisting?
There was a lot of fisting going on there, like self-fisting, like in public, just bored if you're bored and shit, and shit, obviously. Like she had to take one of them to the swimming pool, and there was a full school full of kids going swimming, and then there's just this 20-plus-year-old lad fisting himself in front of them. But there was always a certain smell in that residential area, I'd imagine. So. Yeah.
I would have thought on your missus's clothes as well when she leaves. You're picking her up from work or something. Like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather not remember it, to be honest. But
no.
That didn't seem to bother them. So I can't imagine it would bother Mr. and Mrs. Muckcandle. And they'd just get on with it, and you'd just be there decaying, and eventually found. And I mean, it would be a sorry state. Imagine falling victim to a couple who made their name sending bombs of mud to various 90s children's TV presenters, D-list celebrities, and...
Dear Andy Peters.
Yeah. Still trying to send them to Mark Spate, even though he committed suicide like fucking 10 years ago or something.
Just walking down the subway. Just...
Mark Spate, you Johnny Bravo looking cunt. I mean, imagine being the first victim of an extra special couple of serial killers.
There might be an element where you would be like, just in your last couple of breaths, you just look at them, struggle to hold the lighter for the candle, and you're like, you know what? I almost feel proud of them. I didn't know them for long. They managed this. And you look around the house just with your last dying couple of breaths, you look from shoulder to shoulder.
There's mud
and see
everywhere.
Like newspapers piled like 3 meters high, near enough to the ceiling.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, is that cat shit? Yeah. And you just look back up at them, and they're still fumbling with this lighter.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna die here.
Honestly, worst way to go. Worst way. There's 3 ways I've never wanted to die. Fire to death. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't want to be torched to death. That's awful. Drowning, another shit one. And suffocating. Basically, the 3 that like.
Take your breath away.
Literally take your breath away, and like it's inescapable because it's surrounding you. So if I get shot, fucking hit by a car, I crash a car, anything like that, it's bang, it's over, done, dead, but it's done. That stuff though, it just literally your last moments are all spent in complete panic. Fuck that. But I think we've actually discovered one that I'd want less, and it's not because of the actual method of death, which may be quick. Let's be honest. Two really special folk like that attacking you because you've tried to say part them from kissing. Like you've basically, you know, like when you catch two dogs.
No, you don't even have to do it because you've tried. I mean, I don't know if we can say special like that, but it's with the idea that
we can.
Not that.
Yeah, we definitely can. It may be frowned upon by some. We can say it. I have said it multiple times. I'm going to carry on as well.
That's fine. I just mean in the fact that I don't think the death would come from trying to stop them from kissing. I think the death would come from when you acknowledge them that they've been doing these literal hate mail, sending the weird shit. And you're like, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing this, and then they just freak out. Like,
yeah. Same thing. They go into special rage.
Smashing the room up.
Yeah. Things start flying and they start attacking you with that extra level of strength that we don't have. I feel that they get that strength comes from a lack of understanding. Do you know what I mean? You know, like animals have it. Like animals have strength, and it's almost a sheer determinism that comes from a lack of knowledge of knowing you could feel. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
I think
there's a different type of muscle structure in it, in like a fucking grizzly bear to a guy from Yorkshire or something. Do you know what I mean? Like not that I'm saying there's more of a particular type of people there. Just the first place came to me because I was watching a documentary on fucking the Yorkshire Ripper yesterday. But
yeah, did you watch that
Yorkshire
Netflix
ways,
one?
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, that, wasn't it?
But I wasn't trying to change the topic. I just mean there's a different fucking muscle structure as well. I don't know if it's just because there's something in the brain.
Are you trying to say that special people have a different muscle structure?
I think you are. I think you're trying to twist my words again.
No. I just suggested there was I've already given you my idea. My idea was that the gap in intellect, if you will, or the gap in consciousness and awareness, meant that they had a more. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, go on, explain it out word for word.
A more animalistic determinism.
Okay.
They were more.
And the show lasted 10 weeks, guys. That's something to bear in mind, isn't it?
We did 10 hours. Yeah, they had
Christmas
a more.
was the time we fucked it up.
They had a more dogged. They had a greater level of doggedness about them because they didn't have an ability to. They didn't have an awareness of failure. And I reckon that's where the extra level of strength comes from, and I think that's also why they wouldn't stop beating you until you stop breathing, and then they do the whole like Lenny, like cuddle you really tightly on the ground, just making sure you were suffocated if you weren't already, like cuddling you but crying themselves as if like, what's happened here? Why is he not playing anymore? Wake up, Mr. Man,
Dragging
wake
you into
up.
the corner and covering you with soil like a cat would with a litter box.
Yeah, and then putting like
see, look at this here. This would normally take about 4,000 years for it to get this deep. He just knows everything about soil. Fucking everything.
Putting those tea light ends, putting them on each of your toes, like over your fingers, like some sort of like nails for you, just to cover you up. And then like take your eyes out and put tea light bits in there. And you'd basically, you'd be found just in a mass of soil and tea lights.
Imagine being that copper. Yeah, you've been sending things in the post, guys, and they both start panicking.
Can we come in?
Can we come in? Yeah, okay, come in. Don't go in the living room though. There's a dead guy under the soil with the pieces of metal in there. There's a what? There's nothing. Would you like a cup of tea?
No, they don't have this is the thing. They don't have the whole the cover up thing. They don't think it's a bad thing. So they'd be like, oh, watch out for the dead man.
Yeah, don't trip up over Teddy.
Yeah, the copper would be like, what? He went, yeah, the man in the room. Don't trip over him. He's on the floor. He's getting cold. We put a blanket on him, and then
keep asking him to leave.
Yeah,
I've rang my mum and she's told him to leave, but he doesn't listen.
We keep putting blankets on him, but he just gets colder and colder. So I set him on fire, and then he didn't like that either. But I don't know. Can you get him out, please? How did he get there? He said we were doing a bad thing. And then you're like, what's the bad thing? Well, we send presents to people. And you're like investigating the fucking like 18 bombings in the past fucking 3 months. You're like, all right, what you send to people? Nice presents? Yeah, we send lovely presents. You're like, oh, what's in the presents? Soil, and tea lights. You're like, all right, is any wires? Well, you've got to tie the soil to the tea lights. You're like, oh, right. And what happens when they get somewhere? Bang. So the copper's like,
you never keep them.
You might have to come with us because I think what you've been doing's it's a little bad. And then they both attack the copper, and there's just 2 dead bodies.
And then as they go into the next room, that room's already stockpiled full of people.
It's
and
been
just closed the door over. It should make for a fucking good horror film, bro.
Yeah, it would make for like
it'd make people feel uncomfortable on different levels, innit?
Yeah, it would also probably get the writers sacked, but hey, I don't get paid anyway.
Not if they own the fucking rights to the film.
Yeah, it'd make a good episode of what is it, American Horror Story or something. I reckon it's got the right amount of darkness and twisted for that.
And you could easily spread it over 10 hours.
Oh, without a doubt. Without fuck, you can stretch that out. You can have different people come in. You've got the police investigation. The copper gets murdered, so then more police have to come and investigate. And then you've got like their backstory. So how did what happened to them? Where did their special life come from? Who were their ancestors? Who gave this man an obsession with soil? Who gave this woman an obsession with tea
And
lights?
it turns out that the male of the pair is actually a direct descendant of the Cropduster living on Earth. And the tea light girl is a direct descendant of the Cropduster's nemesis, the opposite of the Cropduster, which, what would that be like, the hose?
Forest fire.
Forest fire. Yeah, okay.
I'm thinking
Yeah,
one giveth, one taketh away.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, why not? I've got nothing better, mate. I don't know where I was going with
literally, why not? There's no logic in any of this last 60 minutes anyway.
No,
why
no.
not? Why not call the fucker the Pink
I
Panther?
knew soil would be a good one, bro.
Why not call his nemesis Lebanon? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? If anyone's still tuned in now, they're fucking used to the nonsense. It's absolutely fine. On that note, we've done our hour. Have you got any closing statements? Have you got? Do you reckon we've covered much ground?
Oh no, I don't think. I think we should bury this episode.
Just cover it over.
Yeah, just cover it over. Yeah, just a little top layer.
Yeah, new pasture, better and brighter pastures next episode, mate. That's what I think.
What is the next episode?
The next episode, right? And this is a groundbreaking world exclusive. I feel like we should have some Tim Westwood style glass smashing right now. Yeah, in the building. World exclusive. We'll do a New Year's Eve episode, same time. We're going to be doing some DJ sets on New Year's Eve, I'm guessing. But before the DJ sets start, or in between them, even if there's something afternoon.
In between, just bring people right down.
That's what we're going to do. In between, if you can have sets up until 7 and from 8, but in between then, we're going to bring a depressing episode on 2021. And what we predict is going to happen next year. Those influences and inspirations could come from the real world or your imagination. But we'll have predictions. Who's going to die? Who's not going to die? Who's going to be born? Who's going to come back? What the world's going to be like? What the people in power are going to do? If cryptocurrency is going to become a thing, we'll find out. But yeah, same time next week. Any parting words for the people?
Fucking feel like I should say Merry Christmas, but I don't really think anyone cares.
Fuck them. They don't deserve a bunch of slags.